So, Sophia read to us chapters 1 and 2 in Diva and Flea. So I was going to hop on here and read chapters 3 and 4. I'm going to hop back on and I will read the intermediate one, which is the one and only Ivan. So we'll start that one tonight too. Okay, chapter 3, The Mouse. The next day, Diva trotted into the courtyard, expecting to see the large cat and to hear his loud laugh. But the cat was not there. It was quiet. Diva was surprised at how empty the courtyard felt without a cat sticking his big head through the gate. Then she noticed that the courtyard wasn't completely empty. There was a small, dead mouse. Near the front step, Diva looked at the mouse and thought for a moment. Then she called out as loudly as she could, "Who left this mouse by my doorstep?" A small voice hiding in the bushes replied, "Me." It was Flea's voice. Diva was surprised a cat that big could have a voice that small. The cat came out from behind the bushes and walked to the edge of the gate. "I did not mean to hurt your feelings," he said. "So I brought you a mouse." "You brought me a mouse?" asked Diva. "To show you how sorry I am," he replied. Diva looked at the mouse and thought for a moment. Then she walked over to Flea and said, "That is the nicest thing anyone has ever done for me. But in the future, bring me a small piece of ribbon, okay?" Flea laughed, and this time, so did Diva. La première entrance. Chapter 4, Feet. After Diva and Flea had shared their first laugh together, Diva invited Flea to visit her courtyard every day. Diva would stand by the gate as Flea told stories about the underground rooms on wheels, the people who drank coffee all day, the pieces of salami and the broom that missed, and more of his many adventures. Diva had never thought about the world beyond her courtyard before she heard Flea's amazing stories. She especially liked the one about the tower so tall and so pointy that it could cut a cloud in half, like a knife slicing through a soft piece of delicious cheese. Diva loved cheese. For Diva, just inside her courtyard gate was the most wonderful place on earth for listening to Flea's stories. There, the sun warmed her fur, and his stories warmed her imagination. But then, as often as not, she would hear the ominous click-clacking of feet either entering or exiting the apartment building. Diva was a small dog, smaller than a person's foot. The way a foot tended to come crashing down from the sky made her aware of just how squishable she was. The fact that feet usually traveled in pairs did not help things one bit. As soon as she heard the telltale click-clacking, Diva would yell, "Feet!" and run away. After enough time had passed, Diva would slowly return to the courtyard. Then Flea could resume his story. That is, until the telltale click-clacking returned. Diva couldn't help but yell, "Feet!" and run away again. It was who she was. "I like telling you my stories," Flea told Diva with a smile, "but they sure take a long time to finish." Okay, we'll do a bonus chapter 5. Chapter 3 was pretty short. Chapter 5, A Big Thought. One day after he had finally told the story of the shop where the man rose whole chickens and could learn a thing or two about sharing, Flea said, "Well, time for me to go." "Where will you go? Where will you go when you go?" asked Diva curiously. "Where won't I go when I go where I go?" replied Flea proudly. "How am I supposed to know where you won't go when I don't know where you do go when you go?" asked Diva. That's a hard sentence. By now, their little dog and big cat brains were very confused. Unsure of what to do next, Diva thought of yelling, "Feet!" and running away, but there were no feet anywhere to be seen, so Diva just stood there. "You should join me one day," said Flea. Suddenly, "You could be a flaneur, like me." "What is a flaneur?" asked Diva, worried that it might be a type of mouse catcher. Flea explained that a flaneur is someone, or some cat, or maybe even some dog, who wanders the streets and bridges and alleys of the city just to see what there is to see. And a great flaneur has seen everything, but still looks for more, because there's always more to discover. "I am a great flaneur," Flea said with his tail raised high. "This is how I discovered you." "But little dogs like me are not flaneurs," said Diva certainly. "There are always exceptions," replied Flea. They are what make you exceptional." Diva thought about being a flaneur. Simply imagining the big buildings and the giant parks and the wide avenues and the tower that could cut a cloud in half made her shiver. The world was larger than she had thought possible, and it was all right there on the other side of the courtyard gate. That was a big thought for a little dog. Okay, we're gonna stop there. I'm gonna put like a little stop and shot there. I'm gonna kind of make a prediction about what I think might be happening in the rest of the story. I can tell that we've been learning about the characters. So we've been learning about Flea and we've been learning about Diva and how different their lives are. But now it seems like Flea might be getting into Diva's head a little bit about maybe wanting to get out of the courtyard and maybe start wandering around. So we'll see if maybe that's something that will happen in the future. Maybe Flea will decide that he wants to stay in the courtyard and no longer be a flaneur. So think about what you think might happen in the story. Remember, good readers try to take breaks and think about what the author might not be saying quite yet, but is giving us clues to figure out. So I will get back on here later on this week, and I will try to read a couple more chapters of our book, Diva and Flea. And our book club will be on October 29th in the library. You can come anytime between 8 to 8:50. I will be there the whole time. So whenever you get there, I will be there if you want to chat about this book. All right. See you soon.